I Don't Get It
Podcast.
Sup, y'all? Welcome to the I Don't Get It podcast. Lauren's making fun of the way that I started the podcast.
No, I'm not.
Sup, y'all?
Ashley
You are
counts down.
smiling slightly.
Ashley just counts
I
down
was in
3,
my
2,
head.
1, go. But we don't really need a countdown. She just needs to start talking. So I like her getting ready to start talking.
I
Guys,
need a countdown.
I do that with everything in my life. Like every time I
Oh,
press
you
record
do?
on anything,
Yeah.
it's 1, 2, 3. And like everybody makes fun of me too at iHeart for that.
Oh,
Like,
okay.
But like, no.
You do it with everything in your life. Like before you have sex, you're like, all right, Jared, here we go.
Yes.
3, 2, 1.
mentally 3, 2, 1.
No, she actually she does do this. I can't like
A mental 3, 2, 1 in your head.
yeah.
Yeah. Mental 3, 2, 1 throughout the entire day. It's like, okay, he's going to come home in this time. And I'm going to take a shower. And I'm
When
going to
he's
do
here,
this.
yeah.
I'm going to use my Lumi deodorant. That's a sponsor for this podcast. Stay tuned
love
for your
Lumi.
code. Okay. So I got a good I don't get it off the top. And it's
Okay.
not really like an I don't get it. It's more of like, you know, what we do here. We complain about ourselves. So I personally feel like I had 2 shitty podcasts last week with iHeart, you know, on my Bachelor recap. You know, like sometimes you just psych yourself out. Like you go into work and you're like, today I'm going to do a great job. Got to do a great job today. Felt like you didn't do a great job last week. So you really got to bring it this week. And then you like freak yourself out. And then you're like, oh God, my thoughts aren't right. My voice is not coming out properly. I'm stuttering. And then you just keep doing it over and over again. I was even, it wasn't just the conversation, which I did feel like I was totally having absolute brain farts in conversation.
Oh no.
But when I was reading the script, the ads last week, I could not read. Lauren, it was like when we were in elementary school or middle school or high school or whatever, and they called you to read out loud a paragraph.
Oh, no.
And you start stuttering at the beginning of the paragraph, and you're like, "Get your shit together!"
You can't
And it's like-
compose
but
it because then you're thinking as you're talking that I'm
Yes.
fucking up, but you're trying to talk to.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So, I mean, anybody who listens to Almost Famous, I'm sure, you know, it's one of those things where like you guys couldn't tell, but like I could tell. And I just felt like really crappy about my performance the past 2 weeks. And that's it. And it just it weighs you down all day. That's like my point is when
Did you have no
You
thoughts or
feel
you just
like
couldn't like
feel
articulate
like you
your
suck
thoughts?
at work. I don't know, Lauren, what it was. It's just one of those days. I tried to blame it on the fact that like I've had really a lack of sleep lately with Dawson.
100%. That's it then.
But I don't even
I was
really
just gonna
know if I
say,
believe. I don't know if I believe in that. Like, is that bad or is that just
Yes.
me
Are
shaming
you
myself? Is that me shaming
fucking
myself?
Kidding
Yes.
me? If I could jump through the screen right now, sleep is inarguably the most important thing for life. Like to me, over water. Like you will not remember
It's like-
anything.
it's up there.
You
Yeah.
will not lose weight. Like it is literally like charging your phone.
I
You have
know.
to charge your brain, charge your body.
Yeah.
And people think getting 6 hours of sleep is good for them. And then when over the pandemic, when I took the online course at Yale, the Science of Wellbeing, that it's a free course, anyone can take it, and it's so freaking good. You had to pick one habit to change, and mine was sleep. And so I committed to getting 8 hours of sleep. And ever since 2020, I get 8 hours now. But I was getting 6 when I worked on The Bachelor. I was getting like 5.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, that's pretty good. And then I was like, 6 is normal. 6 hours of sleep is sleep deprivation, according to science.
Yeah.
It's actually sleep deprivation.
Yeah.
You have to get 8 or more. And I'm not even kidding. Like my life completely changed. I lost weight. I'm like so much more awake. My cognitive abilities are so much quicker. Sleep is literally life.
Your metabolism
So-
is like the highest when you're asleep.
Yes.
So you're just like getting free starvation hours with high metabolism. You know, you're asleep longer, you're having a great time, you're asleep, and then you get to lose weight and because you're not eating and your metabolism's high. I know
And your body's
sorry,
processing.
Ashley, you don't have that
like,
luxury, but Maz and I are going to continue sleeping.
yeah, like I was gonna say, like and there's so many benefits. Like your brain it processes things that happened the night before. You know what I mean? So for anxiety levels, like on and on and on. So I think that could be like the reason, Ashley, for sure.
Okay, so this is what I think. Like I read, I listen, I have heard plenty of podcasts aside from you guys talking about the importance of sleep and stuff. And I guess like when I start to get my day going, and Lauren really knows this about me, like I will be very sleepy in bed. Like when Dawson wakes me up and I'm like, and then I'll lie there for like a half an hour. He'll watch like Miss Rachel if he does wake up before me. And that just struggle to get out of bed is always like for me. But then once I'm at it, I'll go all day. That same person won't nap, and then I'll be up at 2 a.m. or whatever, and I'm fine. I'm cruising, like it's just like the getting out of bed part, and then I just feel awake. But the thing is, my brain probably isn't recharged. Even though I'm not feeling physically tired, I'm probably like lacking. And because I don't feel the tiredness, I don't blame tiredness on my
But are you getting 8? I mean, obviously I say this in a way where like I'm not a mom, and I know so many moms.
She's like with all due respect, I'm about to ask a triggering question.
No, it's not triggering. I'm just saying, like, I bet it's hard. It's not even a question. It's just a comment. Like, I bet a lot of moms, especially new moms, like in this stage, probably can't even afford to get 8 hours of sleep because your sleep is interrupted.
There's for where we're at, there's just zero chance. Zero chance.
Yeah. Which I think is like, it's like, we need to, I don't know.
We need to start,
we need to figure something out.
Melatonin for babies.
I don't know. There's like a lot of things because like we can get into it or we don't have to get into it. But like some people, there's 2 camps here. There's a sleep training camp. I posted this all on Instagram last night.
I was literally reading the comments for this video before we started. Because I watched
Wait, can you regale me with this? Because I don't know anything about this.
Okay, well, there's 4,000 comments thus far. It's been up for a little over 12 hours.
It's 2 camps.
It's a hot topic. There's also a lot of in between. So there's one camp, Naz, that's like team sleep training. And there's one camp that is like kids wake up in the middle of the night. We're the only country in the world that does sleep training. And it's because of like we prioritize ourselves over the baby's needs.
Got it. Wow, interesting. And can you explain what sleep training is to people who may not know exactly how that works?
Yeah, so there's like a lot of variety in sleep training, but the most common thought, like when you think sleep training, you think, well, you're training your kid to sleep, even though it's kind of against their nature.
Sleep for 8 hours so we can sleep for 8 hours.
Oh, interesting.
But like,
but it's not good for the baby.
That's the debate. And like, I don't even want it to say, because I don't know if there's science, like the science out there. Like, I don't want to be an expert on this. But some people will say it's not natural for the baby, and that when you are sleep training them, which usually requires them crying it out to a certain degree, some people will argue that that's like an abandonment thing. Like your kid is crying because they don't know where you are and they feel like you've left them. And
they're feeling abandonment.
Mm-hmm.
Whoa.
Yeah. So some people are like, oh, it'll have a long-term effect on it. I don't know if I believe that. I don't know if that's like at all a true thing. Again, I'm not an expert on this. I'm just telling you that these are the 2 camps. And then the sleep training camp will tell you that that like you all in the family need to get quality sleep so that you can all function better during the day, right? But
with your child, yeah.
And then the other camp will say that you're like being evil to your child if you're letting them like scream. Okay, but this is how it goes. It's usually 3 days of them crying, like screaming by themselves in a room.
And I'm sure that's so hard as a mom.
Which I cannot do. Like, that's my thing. Yeah. I cannot do it. Right. And then people are telling me a lot in the comments, and like a lot before this post, that there's many ways that you can do it. You don't have to like leave them alone screaming in the room. People will say that that's usually the fastest way to get it done. But you can go in increments. Like people are like, first go in after 5 minutes of crying, then leave them alone again, and then go back after 10 minutes. And then after that, you give them
so that they know you're like
break.
Around.
Yeah. And that I can do. That I think I can do 5 minutes and then leave for 10 minutes. I think I can do that, but we'll have to see. There's it just seems like in the moment, it is the hardest, longest minutes of your life. I just don't know that I'm equipped for it. And I also not until very recently have I felt a desire to do it, because when I wake up in the middle of the night, I'm like, okay, I'm up, whatever. It's fine. I'd rather this than have to like hear him being what it feels like tortured.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, but now I'm just saying that the past couple weeks, it hasn't been just him waking up in the middle of the night and then me like kind of like soothing him back to sleep. He's like been waking up and like being up. Like he's been waking up around the time that Jared and I would go to bed, which kind of sucks. Because like you're kind of getting sleepy, you're kind of like getting sleepy, and then you're like, okay, I can't wait to hit the hay. And then then you're like, oh, now I'm up for another 2 hours while he just like is fully awake. Or a couple days ago, it was 4 a.m. and he woke up for like 2 hours.
Do you think it's because you switched him over to regular milk and not formula?
Last night I surrendered and I was just like, I want to sleep tonight. I don't even care about like what I should do as far as feeding goes. So I gave him full-blown bottle of milk, which is fine before he goes to bed. And then I gave him more milk when he woke up at 11. Like as soon as he started like fussing at 11, I was like, okay, I'm giving him more milk. And then he woke up, and then I even planned further out. I was like, when he wakes up next, I'm giving him 3 ounces of formula. And he woke up at 1:30 next. And I gave him 3 ounces of formula. He slept till 6.
Okay.
And then I think I just kind of gave him a little water at 6. And then he went back to sleep till 9:15, which was great.
Oh, very good.
So,
wow.
Yeah.
I am like, God, bravo, Ash.
Well, thanks.
Bravo.
That was a spiel. And if you're not a mom out there, you're probably pretty
I'm
bored by
interested.
that
I'm
combo.
not a mom, but
oh, really?
No, I'm not a mom, and I'm fascinated because it honestly is unbelievable what moms live through and go through to like raise a child.
I
and
swear.
like we don't talk about it enough. And it's like there is no right answer. I think the right answer is whatever works for you.
Exactly.
You know?
And that's what people tell me. They're like, that's what I even said in the post. I was like, look, I believe in following your motherly instinct on this. My motherly instinct is to comfort throughout the middle of the night. But I'm also down to do like a method that wouldn't be like, that would still require me being there. I just doubt that it's going to work for him because he's such a shrieker, but we'll see. Maybe this week I'll give it a go with the increments.
Wow. Well, keep us updated on that.
Okay, so throughout this podcast, you're going to hear me sniffling and blowing my nose and a whole bunch of shit. And when you're blowing your nose a million times and all you want is your nose to be re-moisturized. So I've been putting my Dime hyaluronic acid serum all over my nose, basically in between every single blow, because I cannot have that shit peeling off. And it feels so good to use all those Dime products on a dry face.
Oh my God, I am obsessed with the eye serum. I cannot tell you, like, at night, it's such a treat because for some reason it's like really cold in my house. So it's almost as if like it's been in the fridge, So I put my finger in and then I just like rub it under my eyes before bed, and it just feels so cool and good.
It's very luxurious. It's affordable luxury, as they call it. It's affordable
100%.
luxury.
And it's clean, vegan, cruelty free. It's great for all skin types, which I think is really important to say because not all skin types are the same. Ashley, which product's your favorite?
The toner. Remember how we had that discussion about like what the point of toner was on this podcast? We did have it on this podcast, right?
Yes.
Okay, yes. And toner is great, and Dime's toner is magnificent. And I also am using their cleansing balm. I talked about my cleansing balm like whole routine on Instagram a couple days ago, and I was like, I am not married to a cleansing balm. Like sometimes I use another brand, and I also ordered Dimes because I'm down to try that as well. So guys, we huge fans of Dime. Oh, by the way, we didn't talk about their signature product. I'd like to talk about their little combo of mascara and eyelash growth serum is a really popular product of theirs. So you don't have to like spend $1 bajillion on lash serum. Theirs is very affordable. It's affordable luxury, as we were just saying.
Okay, so when you guys try these products out, make sure you use our code GETIT20 for 20% off your entire order. And remember, Dime also provides free shipping on orders over $75. So if you haven't tried Dime Beauty yet, make sure you do.
The website, by the way, dimebeautyco.com. You could just type it into Google, it'll pop up.
I would just crack. Like I would crack, you know? Like I just feel like some people can do it and I don't know. Like hearing him, like my sleep being interrupted that many times to a shriek, like no matter like what, if it is my child or not, I don't know. Like, I'm sure like it would be easier if it was my child, but like I swear I'd be like, I'm getting in the car. I'm not coming back. It would be
Lauren, that's how I don't feel that extreme about it, getting in the car, not coming back. But I am someone, I love my sleep so much that I like do wonder, I'm like, do I have it in me?
I know. I mean, I'm sure
like,
more comes out of you when it's yours. I get it. You have more
right.
desire to do it. And
that's why I commend all moms. Like it's really so beautiful and amazing.
God, it's hard. It's like a hard decision. You're like, do I want to ruin a lot of good things? I don't know.
I'm going to be honest with Lauren right now.
I don't think I can do it.
I often think throughout my day.
Yeah, Lauren can never.
I don't know if Lauren can do this.
Yeah. And it's okay.
You know, that's probably the meanest thing that I can say as a sister, or it's really just the most honest thing I can say.
Yeah.
I
hate discomfort.
Yeah, you just don't handle, I guess it is discomfort as well as I do.
It's interesting because my mom, remember how we went to Big Sur for Thanksgiving?
Yeah.
And my mom, my mom's always been like, get a boyfriend. Like you got to have kids. You got to have kids. And I think because we haven't traveled in a while, and when you travel together, you like really see what people are like cool with and comfortable with and when they want to wake up and all this stuff. And my mom, for the first time, said to me, instead of like, Ashley's just staring at her.
Sorry, I got closed comedones. I got to get those out.
Closed comedones. Okay.
Go ahead. Sorry.
I'm very interested to hear what Naz has to say because it's made me feel better.
I am. You know that I'm totally listening. I'm just looking at my pimples. I can look at my pimples in the mirror. And also, you need somebody to look at you when they're talking.
I think I've realized that is like a major pet peeve of mine. That if I'm like with someone, I'm like, can you just be fully present? Like I hate when I'm on the phone with someone and they're like at work and they're like, hold on, let me answer this. You know what I mean? I'm like, just call me later. Like I can't.
Yeah. Because I feel like
I'm sorry.
Yeah. No, Ashley, you were doing nothing wrong. I literally look at my phone every time. I agree with you, Naz.
If somebody's trying to text, if they're texting, if they're on their phone, if they're doing emails, 1000%, I do not have your full attention. And that very much drives me nuts. And Jared does that to me way too much. But
it drives me insane. I'm like, do not try and talk to me.
Yeah.
Talk to me when you could put your phone away and we could be humans together.
Yeah.
It's a colossal waste of my time.
He'll be repeating what I said. And I'm like, no, you're not actively listening. Like, he's like, no, see, I know exactly what you said. But if I'm looking at something just more visual, like my pimples on my face, it's a little bit less like I'm not really using my brain.
It's like when I listen or watch a podcast and I'm listening intently, but I'm also doing my makeup.
Sure, okay, exactly.
Now
okay, anyway, go ahead. Finish. Yeah.
Yes, I totally agree. Okay. Yeah. Glad we had a little side tangent there. So anyways, my mother kind of said what you just said to Lauren to me.
Really?
She was like, I don't know. She's like, I don't know, Naz.
Maybe she's that's like, why we're supposed to have kids in our early 20s or like whatever before we get too set in our ways and too comfortable with ourselves.
That might be.
I think that might be. I mean, listen, the only constant in life is uncertainty. Like the only thing we know is that we don't know what's going to happen. I could fall in love tomorrow and want to have a kid tomorrow.
Yeah.
Everything's evolving and changing. Me today, I'm like, I'm totally cool with being a mom in my 40s. But I remember now it was because we were driving and it was Thanksgiving before Christmas. And my mom's like, what are you going to do Christmas? And I was like, I think I'm going to go to Rwanda.
Oh, yeah.
And she was like, I don't think you can.
Yeah. That's fair. That's a fair thing. Yeah.
She was like, for the weekend. I was like, yeah. She's like, I don't know, Naz.
I mean, I think you definitely have the energy to do it. Like you definitely have the energy to do it. It's more of like if you want the chaos and the uncertainty, which you hate.
Yeah, like Naz,
I just love my sleep, my scheduling
sleep.
Yeah. Like I would have to be comfortable being messy.
Yes.
It would challenge my OCD. It would probably be amazing and break me open, and I'd probably be a way chiller, cooler, more nurturing, loving person, to be honest.
Probably. But yeah, that's true. Maybe good for you.
I do want to be a mom.
It would rattle you to your core because of the structure that you would lose.
Yes. And and just like dirty things around the house, like all of it. I would really
toys.
Yes, I'd really have to be open to all that.
So
sure.
I'm going through this right now where it's like when he naps, should I nap? This is like on a weekend. Should I nap? Should I clean? Should I do work? Or should I just watch a TV show? And I'm always going with cleaning, even though I say like
four great options.
Four great options. Because I'll go with cleaning because I need that clean house. I'm not like, you know how you go into some people's houses and they have kids, and I know I only have one and he doesn't even walk yet. So it's like
he doesn't even take toys out of one room. And Ashley was like, I think I'm doing a really good job keeping like his toys in the toy room. I'm like, yeah, because he physically can't grab them and move them to another room now.
Right.
Once
like
he
wait
becomes
till he's a little older.
And he comes down the stairs with like, I have all of my cars. Just throws them everywhere.
And we know your child's going to have like a cornucopia of like superhero toys and like just everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I need that orderly house to feel like I can even tackle anything. And I'm pretty good with like
me too.
A few little things here and there out because like I really couldn't go, I'm like, it's just your life. You can't have, when you're single, or even when you're just married. I think when you're married, you probably can, or, living with somebody, you can keep like a pretty orderly house at all times. With a kid, if it's your best, it's great. But yeah, so I just find myself constantly cleaning and putting away. And I don't know if that's like where I should be putting that time.
Right. If that's like the best use of your time, or if you should just sit and relax. It's a constant, it's never going to be one way or the other, right? It's just life. It's just balance. I love that we're having this conversation.
There's no such thing as balance though. That's like that's the funny thing.
That's what I mean. Like sometimes it's going to be great. Sometimes it's not.
It's your best effort at balance.
Right. I think in 2023, all three of us have had this conversation incrementally. Like little bits here and there, but I don't think we've had the full on conversation like to mom or not to mom.
Yeah, that's true. We really haven't.
In 2023, it's like these conversations were not had like 50 years ago.
Yeah.
And I think we've said this before, but just to, for people that are maybe just listening to this episode, I think because more and more moms are sharing and everyone has a platform now, like people are really asking themselves, should I be a mom? Should I not be a mom? Is it what I want to do? Instead of like, let me just be on the conveyor belt and like become a mom, which I think is great. I think people should ask themselves that. It's a major decision
because we have podcasts like this where Ashley's telling us all like the nitty gritty details, not just the joy of the birthday parties and the birth and all like the happy moments. Like we're getting like the little things that are going to deter us. Before it was like the mommy glow, the joyous moments. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I actually do want to talk about the good stuff now because I feel like I have heard and seen on social media and podcasts like so much of this, of what we're saying, that like I actually do want to know what are the best parts of being a mom for you, Ash, so far.
Well, it's like the little things throughout the day, obviously. It's like when he's on the swing and he's smiling so big, it's like his face is gonna like break.
Yeah, he's so cute.
It's amazing.
And then when he was eating, his new thing while he's eating is so funny and so bad. So first off, they're chocolate chip waffles that he likes. And
that sounds amazing.
So Lois can't eat them. But he likes to throw them down to Lois. And this is what we need video for. Okay. Are you ready? So he'll take the piece of waffle and he'll hold it there and he'll look at me with it in his hand. He's ridiculous. And he's such a bad boy. He's such like a bad boy. Do you know what? Like a bad boy, like a Colin Farrell. That's what I mean when I say this. He looks at me and he like dangles it in his hand. Yeah. And then he'll look straight me in the eye and goes, boop. And he tosses it to the side onto the floor. And I'm like, no, but of course I'm smiling saying no, and I'm saying no like that. I'm not saying no. Like, no.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
No, Lois can't eat that. And then I go down and I pick up the piece of waffle and then he laughs as I bend down.
Like he knows.
Yeah,
He's like, I'm playing
he
this
thinks it's
joke on
hilarious,
Mom.
and then he'll do it all over again, and
Yes,
it's
that
really
is amazing.
Smiling
funny
the
just
whole
'cause
time.
he knows like he can play and he's sly and like smart like that, but it's like weird how like he can know that is funny,
Yeah.
but
Right.
then also
Right.
not be able to speak words.
Yeah, like it's so cool. Like to watch a human at that age and size evolve must be so fascinating every day.
It's so crazy. And then just like him holding my hand when he goes to sleep and like really squeezing it, or then like we go out in
Oh my
public
God.
and he loves to do this. So if somebody's talking to him in public, and I don't know why he does this mostly in public with strangers, but like it's not a shy thing because I know him. It's not
He puts his
shy.
head down.
It's flirty. Yeah. So like if somebody goes, hi, or like just says anything to him in public, he does this little closed mouth smile. And then he then he shoves his
Oh my
head
God.
into my chest as if like he's doing his Princess Diana. That's what I always say. He always
Oh,
goes like
yeah.
this.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, because she
Because
would
she used to
do it. That's
always
so
put her
funny.
chin, her head down, and then look up with her
Yeah.
eyes.
Oh my goodness. See, nothing compares to having that unconditional love, like of something that came from you.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
that's yeah.
Yeah,
It's-
for
you
sure.
can't-
Like, I
there's
think
nothing
that-
like that.
You guys obviously won't. You like would never like put your kid back in the belly, as Lauren said when we were little. Well, because when Lauren was I said that when Lauren was
Yeah.
born, they were like, "What do you think of your baby sister?" at the
You
hospital,
would say
and I go,
that?
I said, "Put her back in the belly." That is
Yeah,
the
she
first
wanted
words
me
I
gone.
had. for
Put her
her.
back in the belly.
Yeah.
You were so
Yeah.
hilarious.
But you know what's also funny is that my friend Christina, she just did a podcast on her birth story the other day. She just had her second, and the boys are 2 years apart. And she said that when they brought the baby in to meet the brother to the house for the first time, that he was like the older one was focused on his toys, not looking at the baby, not
Mhm.
interested in the baby at all. And then
Oh.
finally, after like some time, like I want to say like within a half an hour ish, he
Yeah.
went up to her and said, he goes, "I'm sad." And then yeah. And then like he literally he was like, everybody's looking at the baby.
Oh,
I know.
Yeah.
It's so sad.
I think that's normal. I think I
Oh, it's
felt that
very
way when
normal.
Chris was born.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very
'Cause
normal. It's
You're
just-
used to getting so much attention from both
Yeah.
your parents.
But
when
the
you're
fact
the
that he like
firstborn.
vocalized,
He said,
I'm
"I'm
sad,"
sad.
rather than just
I
being
know.
like annoyed. Yeah.
Yeah.
But also how smart, like to
Yeah.
I
vocalize
know.
your emotions that
That's-
way
I know.
and not
Isn't that
act
amazing?
out.
It's
Yeah.
seriously so amazing that they can recognize those feelings and why. You know, why they're
I was
feeling
with
that.
I was with my old boss the other night. Remember I told you I was hanging out with our old
Oh, yeah.
friend,
I saw
and
pictures.
he has a daughter. And I don't want to share, obviously no one knows, but she was dealing with something at school with like a group of girls.
Mhm.
And he was sharing with me like how she had handled it. And
Oh.
like, I guess something was going on in a group chat with different girls. And she like stood up and was like, this isn't right. Like, this is mean. Like, people are being hurt by this.
Aw.
And like, they all had like a talk and like cried it out. And I was like, oh my God, this is so emotionally mature. Like, I really feel like this upcoming generation is going to like be so different than we are. Like, remember what we would do? We would retreat or like cry to we wouldn't face conflict in the
Yeah.
way that new people coming into the world just like face it on. We would retreat, we would act different. We'd be like, those people don't like me. Like,
Mhm.
I feel like we didn't face things.
Yeah.
Or
I
you
mean,
could be scarred from my past. I'll remember it forever. Like forever.
what?
I was
Something
in
I did?
first grade. I think I've shared the story on the podcast before because I feel like I've shared everything about my life on this podcast before. But I was
exclusive. Ashley
maybe.
IT.
Maybe. I was in first grade and there was a kid getting beat up on the playground, like roughhousing. And I went up to my teacher who was so sweet. And then she happened to be standing, on the playground with the mean teacher in the grade. Her name was Mrs. Frosh, the mean one. Frosh, something like that. I'm calling you out, Mrs. Frosh.
Yeah, you
She might
bitch.
be honestly dead, as we were
Damn.
talking about a couple weeks
Oh
ago.
my goodness.
You know what?
It's one of those
This
people.
podcast just took
People
a
who are
one of those
dead
things.
weren't all angels, all right? Just because they died doesn't mean they're angels.
Okay.
I hate
So
when people paint everyone in a good light just because they died. And we'll get into that later.
okay.
And that is a massive,
to
I don't
this,
get it.
I
That
go-
needs a lot of unpacking.
Yeah. I go, Brian is being hurt over there. Brian's in the middle of a fight.
Aw,
Brian's
Ashley,
getting beat.
good for
I'm pretty
saying
sure I literally
something.
in first grade, I go, Brian's getting beat up. And then Mrs. Froush, whatever, goes, don't be a tattletale. And then
oh my goodness.
I in my first grade
and you're
self
like,
was
okay.
appalled and so weirded out by that response.
What did the nice
Yeah, that's
teacher do?
horrible.
Don't be a tattletale. I don't remember. I actually, I think I do remember. I think she just kind of sat there, like stood there straight faced, like totally straight faced. As it maybe
Wow,
she
probably
has
was like, I don't know what to do.
she was probably like, I don't know what to do after that response. Because then she was either
Wow.
going to get in like fight with her or what. She should have just gone over
Yeah.
to
she's
the
gone over.
kid. I don't remember them going
So
over to
then
the
Brian
kid.
was
though.
just getting bullied.
So how was Brian for the rest of his elementary school career?
He was always the troublemaker in the class.
Okay. All
And
right.
he was in like all my grades. He was in all three of the grades that I was in there at that elementary school.
Wow.
Classes?
Well, good for you.
But
for
he
being...
he was the troublemaker, so it was weird because I was like, especially thought that he was. I don't know why. I felt like he was particularly vulnerable.
Well, yeah, every human being is vulnerable. And if you're
Well,
the one
yeah.
that's always acting out, clearly there's some inner turmoil,
Yeah,
you know?
exactly. So anyway, it'll stay with me forever.
Have I ever talked to you guys about my favorite fruit?
What is it?
Wow, that's it? You're not going to like try and guess or anything?
Your favorite fruit is oranges?
No,
What?
I can't even have orange.
How
really.
peach?
No. My favorite fruit is coconut. Want to know why?
Oh, because it smells good.
It smells like beach.
Because I use it in every form like that it comes in. Literally coconut water, coconut
Mhm.
lotion, coconut shampoo and conditioner. I like eating coconut meat. Like there are so many different uses for
Do you
coconut.
like
and
almond
the
joys?
smell- Yes.
Yeah.
And the smell reminds me of Florida. I love coconut and candy.
Mhm.
Coconut. I just fuck.
I'm
I-
on board with this.
I
I
love
agree.
coconut.
I get coconut.
So recently I have been obsessed because I never knew that I could have coconut deodorant until Lumi came into my life.
Oh.
We are obsessed with Lumi. Lumi has this coconut scented deodorant, which is so good. It's aluminum free because come on, guys, it's 2023. Like, let's not be putting aluminum in our armpits.
But guys, Naz is missing a huge issue thing. It's a huge point here.
What?
Lumi isn't just a deodorant for your armpits.
It's for
It's a
your
deodorant
labia.
for your
whole body.
It's for your vulva and your
You
butt
just-
crack.
Yeah, like all those things that you may
Coconut
also
vagina.
Yeah.
it's your vulva, Naz, body parts.
Yes.
You
I
know how like we all have those moments where we're insecure about not just our armpits smelling. Actually, like I'm not even that insecure about my armpits smelling. It's when I've maybe gone 2 days without showering and I've worn yoga pants.
Mm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, of
Yoga
course.
The way you
Yeah.
said that was
it's the
funny.
yoga pants smell down there.
Yeah, that is its own body odor in its own category for sure.
Yeah.
I like the
so
the
that's when this is perfect.
The acidified body wash really it gets everything in the shower, so you don't have to worry about it when you get out of the shower. You kind of take care of it in the shower, and it's also great for like your sweaty feet because I like to change my socks 3 to 4 times a day, and I like my feet to be dry. So that means that my feet aren't going to smell, and I'll have dry, new, clean socks. So
3 to 4 times a day. Naz, remember when we used to make fun of Lauren for changing her socks so much because we were like,
oh yeah, I'd rather have clean socks than clean underwear for
Clean
sure.
underwear.
I
Yeah.
remember that.
and
yeah.
we're like, that is very strange.
Yeah.
Naz and I rewear our socks multiple days.
yeah, that's terrible.
Yes, I'll wear a pair of socks for a week.
When they start
Me too.
stretching out, like, don't you get annoyed at the stretch out?
no,
There's no
like they'll literally
stretch.
fall.
They
They'll
do.
literally fall off in my sleep in bed, and in the morning I'm like, "Where are they?"
Yeah,
and I'll like look for
exactly.
them and put them back on.
Oh, you guys are nuts. I've had these socks on for an hour and I need to change them again. I'm so crazy. Okay. Anyways,
off the
Lumi,
floor
guys.
every
Okay,
morning.
they're everywhere. With over 150,000 5-star reviews, we're so confident you'll love Lumi. As a special offer for listeners, new customers get $5 off a Lumi starter pack with code GETIT at LumiDeodorant.com. That equates to over 40% off your starter pack when you visit Lumi Deodorant and use the code GETIT.
Control body odor anywhere with Lumi deodorant and get $5 off your starter pack. That's over 40% off with promo code GETIT at LumiDeodorant.com/GETIT. Hashtag LumiPod. Is there anything that's happened to you guys that you're like, whoa, this just stayed with me forever? I've shared this before on the podcast, but I have never been more mortified when I was in kindergarten, when I was wearing my Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs underwear, and I was going up those, those steel slides.
Yeah.
Like it was like literally made out of steel, which was so dumb because the sun would hit it and
So
it would
hot.
literally burn.
So
the
fucking
Florida
hot.
sun.
Yeah.
The Florida
yeah.
sun.
Wow.
Who
Wow.
thought that these were like a good idea for Florida?
I don't know.
And
That's some
anyway, so
1950s shit.
instead of sliding down so your butt wouldn't burn, we would just like climb up it, like from the bottom. And so I was climbing up it and someone was climbing behind me and they pulled on like my pant. Like, I don't know because they were falling or on purpose. And everyone saw my Snow White underwear and I cried.
Oh, were they like,
and was so mortified.
White?
Yeah, I was so embarrassing. I was like, she's underwear on. Like when everyone had fucking underwear on. And it's just something that'll stay with me forever. Forever. I literally remember that panty so vividly.
Did you tear it up?
I don't know what I did after. I just remember that moment and how I was like crying and then we had to go in the class. I had a kindergarten. I think my kindergarten teacher was Mrs. Clear.
Mrs. Clear.
That was her name, which was such an interesting name.
Yeah, it is.
And I had a Lisa Frank backpack. I want some Lisa Frank clothes.
We got to bring the Lisa Frank back. I had that tank top from a couple years ago. I'm pretty sure you made me get rid of it, Lauren.
I want like a Lisa Frank dolphin necklace.
The other day,
It was
I saw
before
something that looked
Y2K was back, though.
I saw something that looked like the Lisa Frank shirt, and I was like, "Oh my god, babe, I need this Anne Frank shirt."
Lauren,
You said Anne Frank instead of
I
Lisa
said
Frank.
Anne Frank, so I couldn't think of Lisa Frank. He goes, "You want an Anne Frank shirt?" So
Oh my God,
bad.
Lauren.
all right. I should have gotten the baby tee in the Lisa Frank shirt. Then you would have thought it was cool. It was
I
a
really
tank
want a
top.
Lisa
Yeah,
Frank
of
shirt. Can you
course.
buy Lisa Frank stuff?
Yeah,
so.
look up.
Lisa Frank should have a museum. Like there should be a Lisa Frank museum.
That would
that
be
you could
really
fly
pretty.
to.
I would enjoy looking at everything in there.
Like all that art. Are you kidding? Like
yeah,
she
I
was
think
the
it's
most
beautiful.
She's the most iconic artist. Hold on, Lisa Frank Factory in Tucson, Arizona.
I want to know what her net worth is. It's Google time. Oh my goodness. Okay. Her current net worth is about 23 million.
Don't you feel like every net worth online is like not real? Yeah, like it says
It's all incorrect.
yeah.
Like, how do they know what she just bought? You know, like
They really don't know anything. It could be close-ish though.
they just know how much she's made from certain things, but they don't know what she's spent.
You guys, she is currently 64. So she must have been so young when
Charles is
she was making
30.
this stuff.
That's wild. Andrea, can we get Lisa Frank on the
That'd be
podcast?
sick.
Yes.
I'm going to jump on Mike for half a second because I am obsessed with Lisa Frank.
This is producer Andrea.
Hi, hello. You will not, if we get her to do an interview, we will be the first people in I don't know how long. She is so tied. I was just about to send you guys a link to this article that I have. It's 10 years old.
I didn't know you were so informative on this.
You're a Lisa Frank expert.
Who the fuck does not love Lisa Frank?
I'm sending you guys a link to this episode, to this article. We don't have time to talk about it this week, but you guys have to check it out. It's called Inside the Rainbow Gulag, the Technicolor Rise and Fall of Lisa Frank. Her story is fascinating.
Hell yeah.
She is.
Wait,
I'm afraid of her.
let's get
Really?
her
Wait,
on.
why is she scary?
Naz, you're going to have to add that to your visualizations because it is, I'm telling you, if we do this, will be my life's work complete.
Okay, we'll do it. It's just so everyone knows every morning for 4 minutes, I'll visualize like things I want to happen in my life. So I will now visualize, wait, let's reach out to Lisa Frank and get her on.
Yeah, but Andrea would know. Like, does she not do interviews?
The ugly business of being cute. Whoa.
I think she's really done like 2 in the last, I don't know how long. But I almost hope she isn't, because we'll just be the ones to do it.
Exactly. Groundbreaking.
Yeah, maybe she just hasn't been asked to do them.
We'll find out.
I think let's reach out and try and get her on next week.
Next week. You got it. You got it, Naz.
Yeah. Okay.
What do you mean next Friday?
Yeah, she's probably ready.
Hopefully.
Okay, well, I got to read this article and learn a little bit more about her, because to me, she's just,
I know.
in my head, she looks like Betsy Johnson, you know?
Oh my God,
She
remember the
doesn't.
ballerina bunnies? No, she doesn't, but she's, whoa.
God, this is a long article. Okay, we'll do our research.
Yeah, this is long. Okay, I would love to sit down with Lisa Frank.
All right, Lauren, we've got time for you to talk about one more thing, and let it be praising dead people who don't deserve it.
Okay. My one thing that I just mentioned before was, but really when I think about this, I think like if I was murdered and like all of my friends and family were on Dateline, they wouldn't, be like, oh, she lit up a room, she did so many good things for her community. I want you to be like, she pretty much napped in her whole life. She like had a passion, I want you to be real. And then everyone's like, oh my God, they were amazing. They did this and this. I'm like, just be real. And if someone did something wrong, we don't have to pretend like they didn't do it just because they died,
Yeah.
Highlight the whole life.
I totally understand, Lauren. Yeah. You're my favorite person in the entire world.
But you wouldn't say she was.
But I wouldn't say she was the sweetest person I've ever met.
Yeah,
or that she did so much goodness for humankind.
She put a smile on everyone's face.
Lauren's eulogy. Damn. I hope I die before you.
Lauren would say things like, for Lauren, I'd be like, she made people feel really good about themselves because she was so talented at hair.
I think the thing is that there's good in everyone, and I think that's what people like pull out, at those times.
Yeah, but I think
Lauren,
it'd be amazing
fondest memories
if you pulled out the not so good stuff.
Yeah, it would be funny. But that the first thing would be like, Lauren was the funniest, smartest person I know. That's pretty much the truth, though, because you are like the most witty, hilarious person I've ever met.
Oh, you're funny.
And most striking.
I mean, you're nice.
And strikingly beautiful.
You're quite kind, guys. Quite kind. But yeah, that was my one thing. I feel like I have so many more little things we can dive into, but I think that's all we have time for this week.
I love it. Well, stay tuned, guys. We'll see if we get Lisa Frank on.
Yep, stay tuned for Lisa.
But we love you guys.
Love you.
Subscribe on Instagram, all the things. Tell us your thoughts.
Bye.
I don't get it.
Podcast.
I don't get it.
Podcast.